talk about, I think, because we spoke about a lot of scams with respect to, I think, lack of common sense, I think, lack and good and bad actors. But what I want to discuss with you is that if you can share your thoughts with respect to what blockchain brought to the table, right? Because when we started talking about privacy, we started talking about anonymity, right? And I think we felt that these can solve a lot of challenges, but obviously people are still stuck with respect to anonymity versus privacy discussion, right, or debate, as we can call it. So what are your thoughts on that, and whether and how do you ensure that using the right tools and technologies you can stay away from these kind of cyber issues?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mr. Lanza actually had a very relevant question in the chat, which I think ties in very nicely to that question, which was, I was asked to talk about cryptocurrency, but something that I often have to, especially with people that don't have much exposure to blockchain or similar technologies, I really have to set the stage that there's two different things at play with blockchain for the standard public. There is cryptocurrency and there is distributed ledger technology. And the two are not necessarily the same. Cryptocurrency just happens to use distributed ledger technology. And most people that I talk to, especially that aren't experts in the field, confuse the two. And so the question that he asked, I think, is very topical to what you're saying, which is, what does blockchain add to cybersecurity? And I think the answer to that really is we have to embrace things like digital ledger technology. What that gives you is verifiable, immutable logs, and I actually kind of think it's a funny thing. I do a lot of forensic work, and for anybody who does that out there, I love it when people go and modify logs or edit accounting systems or change databases, because usually I can then find a gap. And when I find a gap, it's like leaving me little breadcrumbs leading me to what's going on. And in fact, if they don't modify the logs, sometimes people are not sure. Did we get compromised? I don't know. But if you go on a system and all the logs have been wiped, you're probably like, yeah, some bad actors have probably been on here and they've probably wiped their traces or tried to by deleting the logs. So I think, that's probably the biggest thing I'd want to do. I mean, Jorg put it well, we try and focus on what are the ideas that are here. I mean, I think Rolf and I would both lose against him if we judged it by hair, and whatnot. So, we don't want to do that. So I think for me, it'd be a lot of focus on distributed ledger technology and how we can use that in ways that enhance our security. There is an interesting thing about this where we talked about anonymity and, the immutable nature and the verifiable nature of distributed ledgers come from the very fact that they are not private, that they are distributed, that there's multiple copies, that they can be compared, which does make it an interesting case that now you've got that information public. And does that public nature make it more secure? And I would say it does, yes. In fact, Jorg threw down kind of a gauntlet where he said not to use open source, that it's less secure. I would make the exact opposite argument that, having it public, having more people able to look at it, having non-proprietary code is paramount to making things more secure. And in the crypto world, if somebody says, hey, here's a proprietary crypto that I've developed and I think it's awesome, it's not going to go anywhere. You've got to have the crypto be able to be seen, be attacked, be looked at by academia to find out whether or not there's holes in it, and poke holes in it. And that open source nature of that concept is what allows that to be done. So I'll put away my soapbox and hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rob, do you want to share your thoughts on privacy versus anonymity and how and what Kevin just mentioned?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I agree on that, what Kevin said. Having exactly the same view here. Again, the discussion today, I think, I mean, it's a wide range, right? We're talking about cryptocurrency, we're talking about blockchain per se, which can be used in other areas and technologies and things like that. The thing is, at the end of the day, right? What is, how should I say that? In a cryptographic or let's say in a crypto currency situation, right? The the um, the the goal and the usage of a blockchain is a complete other way that when you're using that in a private economy in a closed group situation. I have seen, for example, many use cases in a closed environment where the outcome or the usage is not per se a blockchain concept. For example, I was involved in a nice concept with DHL and Porsche, Porsche the car manufacturer, and DHL the packet company. They created a use case to deliver packets in Germany into Porsche cars over a blockchain concept. And this was really funny because there was a company in Berlin who created that use case with Porsche and DHL together. And the biggest um, security concerns here was how to implement that in a way where you can have a hybrid blockchain. Hybrid means the car could be offline, no internet access. It is not connected to an ecosystem, but the parcel guy who arrived with his DHL car wants to open the trunk to put the packet in, right? And um, and the plan is to get a kind of offline um, blockchain partitional stuff in a in a car where even in an offline mode where you're not able to evaluate um, the correct key, or is he allowed or he gets access on it um, in a real time situation possible, because you cannot evaluate that somebody in the last minute said no, you cannot open the trunk, right? So um, what I want to tell you is, right, so the thing in the security area on in discussion of blockchain could be really a wide topic. And okay, it's for me now the first discussion in your stage. Um, but I think also in the government perspective, the topics are really wide, right? Because it could be not only the currencies, it could be also, for example, testaments. So what's happened when somebody is dying and the testament will be opened? It could be also a government task to provide this kind of things around. And again, in my case, and this is what I want to tell you, right, is in every single use case or different yeah use cases where you can use a blockchain, even the security requirements and aspects are really could be really different, right? It depends what you want to achieve. And I want to come back what Jörg said in the beginning, right? The weakest point I think is in fact, or was it Kevin? I'm not sure. One of you go, but of you guys mentioned that the weakest point is really, of course, the wallet, the private key, the access to the private key. And if this part is mostly protected um, with an with an offline wallet with another methodology, um, then you can drive a blockchain concept. I think in every single use case, right? I mean, it's a wide answer to
Right.
a to a global question, but yeah,
No, I think
no,
this is a wide topic anyways, right?
yeah,
Cybersecurity is
absolutely.
like basically it impacts every industry. So I think there's no straight answer and there's no simple answer.